How do we get you to your destination with the highest amounts of energy and the least amount of stress? Let's take a look at this great question. If you watched my first video on traveling, this is an extension of that. This is part 2, where in the first video we talked about the idea of Echinacea, Nettie Pots, and compression socks. In this video, I want to talk about 3 additional things that I would recommend if you can logistically pull it off that will get you to your destination, as I said earlier, as fresh as possible and giving you the opportunity to perform to your fullest potential. Number 1 is, and again, logistically this may not be possible, I would recommend traveling with your pillow cover, your sheets, and whatever blankets you normally have it on your bed at home. Again, if logistically possible, you might even want to try to invest in one of those pillow tops where you can put it over the bed that you're sleeping in if you're in a hotel. If you're traveling in a motorhome, you have that luxury. I would highly recommend that your bed, your sheet, your thread count, your pillow type is identical in your motorhome as it is at home. Your motorhome should be exactly what it is back at home. If you're traveling, and again, I know it logistically may be difficult, but I want you to think about why. How many times have you're so excited about getting to your destination, and for whatever reason, maybe the thread count isn't the highest quality like you have at home. Well, now you're sitting there trying to sleep with sheets that are relatively coarse. Nothing worse than having a pillow that just doesn't feel right, maybe even gives you a crick in your neck. Now you've got to go into an important day and you've got spasms in your upper shoulders because you got a crick in your neck while you slept. Remember, we're looking for marginal gains. You want to start with sheets, pillows, if logistically possible. The next thing I would recommend is traveling with earplugs and having white noise app on your phone. If you have to be in a hotel, you might hear people opening and closing their doors, walking by. You might have a room that's adjacent to the ice machine. You might be next to a door or an elevator. When you get used to, and this is something that you need to practice, get used to sleeping with earplugs. And it's going to be a little bit awkward at first because you're going to hear yourself breathing, and it does feel a little bit odd. But what you want to do is you want to start getting acclimated to sleeping with earplugs. And if there is still some soft noise that you still might hear a little bit, have some white noise that'll mute it out. We want to make sure that there's no words coming out of your phone because our brains are very nosy. They're going to try to sing along with the song. They're going to try to engage with the conversations that are going on in the room next door. It's just the way our brain works. We want it to be where it's super, super dark and cold, quiet, and we need to make sure that you're muddling out sounds. Now, let's take this one step further. You've got your sheets and your pillows. You've got the noise muted out. This is where we want to start looking at how can you facilitate the air temperature. If logistically possible, travel with your oscillating fan. Now, for some people, the oscillating fan provides adequate amounts of white noise. That's a win-win for you. If you've watched any of my other videos, we've talked about how do you improve sleep. The room needs to be ideally below 69 degrees Fahrenheit. I think that's like 21 to 22 degrees Celsius approximately. The body will get much better sleep when it's cold. That's what we call the hibernation effect. We want to make sure that there's no light in the room. We're talking about the noise being muted out with your earplugs. The fan blowing on you is going to help keep a constant temperature on you. Because think about it, the room itself is the same temp. But when you get the fan blowing on you, you know how like when the air conditioner cycles on and off, you kind of get a little bit warm, again you get cold, then you get a little bit warm. With that fan blowing on you, you're creating a constant. So those would be, in this being the second part of a 2-part video series on how to travel and get the most out of it, I want you to think about that. If logistically possible, travel with those pillows, travel with those sheets so that thread count is the same. Use those earplugs, have a fan, try to create an environment of hibernation, stick to your normal routine of going to bed, and I think you'll notice that you'll get to your destination and perform at a much higher level. I hope this video, this 2-part series, I hope it's answered a lot of questions. This video is a byproduct of the questions that you guys are sending in, so thank you and please continue to do so. If you haven't sent in a question, the way to get in touch with us is to send us an email, contact@coachrobb.com. We're converting every question that ever comes into our offices into a daily YouTube video, and we hope that you'll send us one in and we can solve a frustration. Please turn on the notifications if you subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, we'd greatly appreciate it. Like I said, we put a video out every day, so I want to make sure that you don't miss one. So please share this with your friends. We deeply appreciate it. I appreciate your time today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.